Afternoon, everyone. Hoping everyone is doing well and wishing everyone a blessed Ramadan. Before we start our session today, guys, everyone, I would like to introduce myself to everyone here. Myself is Mr. Mohammed Awad, HSE trainer since 10 years. Doing this job for people who works in a different fields, people who work for oil and gas industry, construction field, landscape, infrastructure. Used to also deliver training to some governmental sectors associated with regulating private security companies in the state of Qatar. Thank you all for being here today. Thank you for being interested in such a topic for enhancing safety and and well-being during the holy months of Ramadan. Our session is only for 45 minutes. This session is going to help us to understand it. It will empower us with the required knowledge to understand about the essentials, what we need to do during the time of fasting, and also necessary precautions needs to be there, preventative measures, and health issues during the fasting during the holy month of Ramadan. All right. So as I mentioned, our session is going to be 45 minutes. I want to thank everyone that being here already today. After the session will be finished, I will be having like 10-minute questions and answers with you, with everyone. A very simple question. I'm pretty sure that you can claim your answers in your in the chat box. We have it here in the Zoom chat. I'm please requiring from everyone to put your speaker on a silent mode, please. Put your mic on a silent mode, please, so that everybody can still hear us when we are discussing. Please mute yourself. Thank you, guys. All right. The session outcome that we have selected for the day. In the first place, we need to introduce the objectives and significance of HSE during Ramadan, managing the fatigue that's coming from dehydrations or lack of nutrition intake. We know that our nutrition intake alter and sleeping hours alter during Ramadan, and this is affecting the circadian rhythms of our body, which may become the biggest challenges for the workers to maintain their well-being and performing their daily tasks, especially for the robust industries. And we're going to talk about the proper hydrations and nitrations on the two meals that people normally have, like iftar and suhoor, and best practices for maintaining a well-being and ensuring the safe operations, and the importance of the team collaborations and leaderships, because the mental health and the stress management that may occur sometimes requires that the leadership interference, require the leadership support at all times. All right. Now, aim of the session that we have it today, why we are creating a public discussion about this very important topic, people need to raise awareness and understands the importance of health and safety and environment. Of course, everybody works in different fields, understands and valuing the importance of health and safety and environment. But when it comes to the holy month of Ramadan, there's another challenges coming in. There's another challenges may interfere, such as like fasting and cognition problems, hypoglycemia, circadian rhythms, as we have already mentioned, it may be changes. So we had to understand and highlighting the key challenges of the best practices to the well-being. We don't want the productivity to be affected, and to understand the health and safety for all individuals observing the holy month, whether it's Muslims or non-Muslims. Okay, so before we start, wishing everyone to have a blessing Ramadan for the remaining days, and we will just get started. So welcome everybody is on board. Introducing HSE during Ramadan. Everybody understands that health, safety, and environment, it is something significant in all around different industries. Setting a process and best practices to aim for well-being of all employees. We all understand that this is something compulsory. We all understand the importance of maintaining a highest standard of health and safety can have a lot of benefits, and non-compliance with health and safety standards can have a lot of consequences and a lot of risks that may also affect and have adverse effects on the businesses that we have. During the holy month of Ramadan, we understand many Muslims, they are fasting from the dawn until the sunset. HSE takes a significant due to unique challenges in fasting. Protecting employees' health is very important. Preventing injuries is very important, and ensuring the regulatory compliance. What was the challenges, as I already mentioned, during the holy months of Ramadan? Now, our body is already adapted with the circadian rhythms already. Our circadian rhythms is 24-hour period in our body where you feel the natural urges to sleep, eat, and rest and work. This is something changes during the holy month of Ramadan due to the changes for the meal intakes, due to the changes for the alter of the sleeping patterns. You can't hear me. Is everybody can hear me, guys? Please, could you confirm?
Yes, sir, we
Yeah.
can hear you.
Yes, I can hear, but
We can hear you clearly. We can hear you clearly.
All right, so
we can hear you. Outside,
Yes, sir.
Mr. Pathias, can you hear me now? I think we got someone. Let me just kindly check.
We can hear you, Awad.
Yeah.
Maybe the person having a trouble in his mobile on his connection.
I can see. Thank you guys. Thank you guys for your confirmation. No? All right. As I mentioned, our neutral circadian rhythms, it's already adapted with the world, with sunset and sunrise. When this is something changes during the holy month of Ramadan due to the patterns of sleep that is already altered and the meal plans that is already altered, makes the persons feel disrupted. It makes you feel tired, hungry, and feel sometimes energy ups and downs during different times of day. As I said, there's a bigger challenges, and it's really matter to understand. Fasting leading to what? First thing, fasting leading to, or lack of dehydrations or lack of fluids in our body, it leads to fatigues. Altered sleep pattern leads to change of our cognition, meaning our cognition become unbalanced, and our cognition also affecting our coordinations and also decision making. This is may possessing a significant risk, especially for the workers or employees performing their duties in robust industries, such as when people work in construction fields, oil and gas industries. Their decision making may delays and may have a problem with coordinations, which is whenever employees, particularly they are practicing any high risk activities, that is increasing the chances of any accidents that may occur, okay? So why that matters, we to understand or attend such a training or listen to some discussion like that. Health and safety at risks, we say employees fasting for extended periods may experience reducing energy levels or impaired focus. And this is, as I mentioned, increasing the likelihood of accidents, especially in safety critical roles. As we also see, if you guys live in GCC countries, high temperature, high radiations, air velocity, this is also can be a bigger impact for heat stress disorders. If we have workers, they do any outdoor activities. This is also with fasting increasing the dehydration levels, which is, as I mentioned, leads to fatigue and cognition will be changed and big impact of accidents may occur there. This is also may workplace productivity. Maintaining a safe environment supports productivity, which is can otherwise be disrupted by fasting-related challenges. Many organizations have diverse workforces recognizing and addressing the needs of fasting of employees, foster an inclusive cultures, and boost morale. Now, the role of the organizations. What is the role of the organization towards a fasting employees? Organizations needs to understand that fasting employees already knows that cognitions, fatigue, dizziness that they may have, what they should do, they should reassess the risks with the daily tasks the workers needs to carry on. For instance, high-risk activities or activities that requires excessive physical activities, they requires to be done at the start of the day. Why is that? We're going to explain later on when we talk about the nutrition facts. Now we need to discuss about the managing of fatigue and the productivity. Effects of the fasting on performance. The physical fatigue, as I said, abstaining from food and water for long hours can lead to lower energy levels and making physically demanding tasks to be more challenging. Yes, when we are already in the best nutrition facts and when we are in the normal days, food that enters our body cells, it helps us to be, it's improved the maintaining the well-being, and it's increasing the energy levels. Now, the first days of Ramadan, particularly, many people, because their diet changes, it will be the challenge day because our body's circadian rhythm may be a little bit adapted at the half of the month. But in the first days, the hypoglycemia levels, which is blood sugar that contents too low, makes a lot of problems and particularly gets a lot of workers to be irritated. At first days, when we need to speak about the sugar levels, and we are all in the normal days insulin addicted. What do you mean by insulin addicted? First, we have to understand how the insulin works in our body. Our body has a pancreas, which is, it is producing the insulin regulating the sugar in our blood. Anything we eat, the insulin will spike up in our blood. When anything we eat, it spike up, the insulin spike up in our blood and will be in charge to distribute that glucose to all our body cells. The time when the insulin started to be lower down, we start to feel hungry and then our mood changes. And then we start to feel tired. We need to have an energy because anything we eat, it gives us energy. That food, where it's going to the cells and it will be transferred into an energy to be burned. So abstaining or stopping this one suddenly when start of the month can be a lot of challenges there, including irritations, tiredness, and also mental fatigues could be there. As we say, reducing hydrations and nutrition may impair concentrations and reaction times and decision-making abilities. Sleeping disruptions, altering the sleeping schedules. Now, we all understand after we break our fast, which is normally here, as we say, Qatar time, 6 o'clock, 5:45. During this time until suhoor times, it's like approximately 9 hours. 4 o'clock in the morning, people has to wake up to prepare for their suhoor. So sometimes people their schedule may be changed. Sometimes people, they prefer to delay and then take their suhoor and sleep. Sometimes people want to take their suhoor and sleep after Fajr, which is may lead to, if they are having a duties in the morning time, it will be affecting them very well. So as we said, it can be disrupting sleep and leading to drowsiness during working hours. So the risks starting when? The risks starting once we wake up and we are using our vehicles and then we are heading to our workplaces. Now, drowsiness while driving, going to or heading to our workplaces may lead to a lot of car accidents. Reaching the workplaces also may lead to a lot of risks may happen, a lot of accidents as well may happen there. Now, we want to understand, to mitigate the risk, what do we need to have or what do we need to do? Now, we prefer in the first place to adjust working schedules, offer shorter shifts. If we see the legal requirements before every start of Ramadan, the government will be announced that working hours may alter before during the holy month of Ramadan, as they do already understands that governmental sectors, private sectors need to alter their working hours. As they already understands, same hours of work may increase the chances of risks and accidents that could be occur. And also, we are saying flexible hours and additional break times for the employees to rest and recharge. Task rotation. Now, guys, what we're recommending during the sahur time that, as I said, the nutrition facts, it's very important during the iftar and sahur. During the sahur times, we prefer to have a little bit carbohydrates. That carbohydrates are giving us an energy at the start of the day because it stays longer in our body system, in our digest system. So when we say task rotation meaning two things: shifting the employees between high and low risk tasks to minimize fatigue. So meaning substitution. If we are in health and safety field, everybody understand the control measures like elimination, substitution. We understand the meaning of substitutions, which is substitute or rotation of the workers between the tasks together. Another thing we can do when we say task rotations, tasks that require excessive physical movement, we prefer to put it at the start of the day. Why? That time, our nutrition intake still at the highest level. We still woke up in the morning. We just had our sahur recently. So we are still in full energy. So finishing a high task, that task may requires a physical movement early. And then we may take the lower tasks in the afternoon time when the energy started to go down. Training and awareness. We need to also, we understand the importance of trainings, and trainings generally giving us 5 benefits. Training giving us a knowledge and changing the people attitude, behaviors, and helping the people to acquire new skills. So educate your staff on recognizing fatigue symptoms. Now, fatigue symptoms when people are tired because of fasting, it's similar to the person who's suffering from diabetes. In a diabetes, when the blood sugar can tend too low, this is called hypoglycemia. When the blood sugar can tend too high, called hyperglycemia. So hypoglycemia, when the blood sugar can tend too low due to that lack of food, dehydrated, and things like that. How the person will be feels and looks like. Person will have a tiredness and lethargy, drowsiness, nausea, dry mouth. Yeah, these are common symptoms that if we have been, or sluggishness, difficulty in focusing, that if we have seen it in someone, we need to encourage the staff to report these concerns. Supervisory monitoring. Now, we all understand the relationship of the supervision when we are having a new staff. Supervision has to be at the highest levels, and it will be reduced by the time. Now, during the holy month of Ramadan, we need to boost the supervisory monitoring as I say, the potential of accidents or any near misses, incidents that can occur gets high in Ramadan. Train your supervisor to watch the signs of fatigue and intervene when it's necessary by rotating the workers, encourage them to take a little bit more breaks, yeah, and rest encouragement. When we say educate the staff, we also need to educate them and encourage them to promote adequate sleeping hours and rest during the non-working hours to support their recovery for the following days. Okay. Moving forward, we have just a small video that can help us to understand more. If there is no sound in the video, please, somebody should type please in the chat box. You guys can hear the sound, the video?
No, we can't hear.
Okay.
The sound is not coming out, sir.
Okay, just a moment. I'm working on it now. Okay.
It is 6 again.
Yes, there is a sound. Just try once more. Yeah, sound is
Now,
coming.
okay.
Yes, it's okay now.
Okay.
Hello, Becker Hughes. This is your HSE speaking. With Ramadan around the corner, we wanted to remind you about the risks and necessary measures during this period. Ramadan is a holy month of fasting and prayer for Muslims, the followers of Islam. Each day during Ramadan, Muslims do not eat or drink from dawn to sunset. Those fasting don't eat or drink anything from sunrise to sunset, which can cause dehydration, leading to headaches and heat stress. Employees living in GCC countries are particularly vulnerable due to high temperatures. Those observing Ramadan in countries with long daylight hours can equally be at risk, as fasting can last in excess of 18 hours. Fasting can further result in low blood sugar levels, symptoms of which include confusion or even fainting. Social activities such as evening prayers and late gatherings can all contribute to fatigue, which can pose a threat to safety both on the roads and in the workplace. So what should you do to address these risks? Take regular breaks to rest and, if possible, limit physical activity during the time of fasting. Stay inside or in shaded area during the hottest times of the day. Introduce flexible work schedule, shifts, and where possible, delay critical projects until after Ramadan. Maintain open communication with your coworkers so they are aware you're fasting and can support with your workload or work hours. Ensure there is adequate first aid or medical assistance should anyone feel unwell during work. Healthy. Ensure your meals are loaded with high fiber foods such as fruits and vegetables, and increase your water intake to stay hydrated. It is advisable to do only light or medium intensity workouts during Ramadan. Apart from going to the gym, one can go for a walk, cycle, or even do light jogging. Life is a great adventure, and for you to enjoy it, you need to stay safe and healthy. Thanks for listening. Take care until you see me again.
Okay, that was just a video for and quick tips. All right, so now we need to understand Best practices for maintaining well-being and ensuring the safe operation. Now, proper hydration and nutrition is vital. It's very important for employees' well-being and workplace operations. Okay. Now, impact on health and safety. Dehydration risks leads to what? Lack of water intake during fasting hours can cause dizziness, fainting, or reduced cognitive functions. Now, imagine you working in construction industry. You have a worker who's fasting and do an activity on height. And when they do activity on height, they start feel dizziness and fatigued. What could be happening there? Of course, a risk of falling increasing in that moment there. No? Imagine a workers, they are doing any activities. For example, they are using a hand tools or power tools and they feel dizzy. What can happen there? Imagine a workers, they are operating any equipments. What could be, it could be leads to what when they're dizzy and things like that. Now, also nutrition challenges. What is that? Inadequate or unbalanced meal can lead to low energy and weaknesses and difficulty for concentrating. Now, sometimes people before the holy month of Ramadan, which is including me, I will speak about my experiences. When I was trying to lose weight, I was doing intermittent fasting. I thought that in the intermittent fasting, when people doing this, we have to eat only fibers and we have to eat also protein. And that was completely wrong. Because whenever the time we are eating or focusing only on the nutritions to be including fibers like vegetables, fruits, and things like that, and with the protein, we are not given a chance for our body to take any sources of energy, which leads to the weaknesses and the lack of energy and lack of concentrations as well. That's why. And the best practices for hydrations, we need to balance the nutritions and the hydration during the non-fasting hours. Now, every day we are saying everyone to be in the non-fasting hours during the time between iftar and suhoor, we have to be filling our hydration intake has to be from 6 to 8 liters. So when we say educator training, we have to make them understand that to drink plenty of water between the sunset and dawn to stay hydrated and avoid sugary and caffeinated drinks. Now, the problem is a lot of people, they will be tempted by the sugary foods and cakes and sweets that the people are taking, and it doesn't understand that may affect their hydrations intake. So we need to avoid that or a little bit reducing. And the nutritions. Now, promote meals with the slow release energy sources like whole grains and proteins during iftar and suhoor to sustain energy. During the suhoor time, what is recommended? During the suhoor time, it's recommended to eat a food with carbohydrates, such as what? White breads, which is not very recommended, not advised so much, but white rice, brown rice, potatoes, yes, any food which can have a science of carbohydrates that can give and boosting our carbohydrates and giving us energy that we can compete on the following day. Workplace support. Workplace support meaning what? Providing an access to water and healthy snacks during permissible hours, especially for breaking fast. We say that workplace welfare is very important. And employers must make sure that a good welfare. If working hours will be crossing the iftar time, then meaning what? We have to ensuring that there is water, access for water, snacks or food and meals for the workers. Environmental adjustment. We prefer to follow the prohibited working hours laws in the state of Qatar. We already understand that in the state of Qatar that every year from June up to September, there is a prohibited working hours for outdoors. If we are practicing or doing such a thing like that for the holy month of Ramadan and minimizing the outdoor working hours, it's going to be better for employees and maintaining their hydration levels. So all for shaded areas. If a worker has to do any activities outdoors, then we have to make sure that shaded areas or doing activities inside buildings. Also, air conditionings or fans needs to be there to reduce the exposure to heat and preventing a heat stress. Because we already said that there's a relationship between dehydrations and heat emergencies, such as heat stress disorders, which is some of them, they may have heat rush, some of them, they may suffer from heat cramps, heat exhaustion, and even though it can be reached to heat stroke, okay? Respect fasting employees. One of the most important things that we need to ensure non-fasting staff are mindful of their colleagues and respecting their feelings in their fasting hours, and avoiding or abstaining front of anyone, and then having any meals or drinking fluids, trying to making sure that respecting the feelings of a fasting employees. All right, nutrition tips. Now, as we said, hydration strategies, how to keep ourselves have a plenty of water during the fall of the day. 6 to 8 to 10 glasses of water between iftar and suhoor has to be there. Hydrating foods. Consuming water-rich food like cucumbers. Now, foods that have a lot of waters inside it, such as cucumber, watermelon, oranges, lettuce, and yogurt. Now, if you ask me as a Muslim, what is my suhoor time that can keep me alerted for the full day? I always go with high fiber food, like making a salad, and actually I do and increase it with the cucumbers. And I like to eat some omelette, but mixed with vegetables, and also using yogurt. Most important things for a lot of Muslims that during the suhoor meal is to have yogurt. Yogurt helps to retain the fluids inside the body. Now, one of the things that I'm really avoiding, and a lot of people avoiding during the holy month of Ramadan, caffeinated drinks, tea, coffee, and soft drinks. It's increasing in the blood loss and leading to dehydrations. Normally, if you've done any firefighting trainings, you will find that there's always recommendation and advices that says that normally when you're doing any firefighting training or you're being surrounded with hot areas, avoid drinking or have high coffee intake, because as it says, losing and leading for dehydrations. All right. Limit also salty and processed food. Any fried foods and salty content can increase to thirst and dehydration during the fasting hours. Yep. Adjust your salt. If you are a person who's cooking at home, also adjust your salt intakes in your meals, because as I said, it can increase the dehydrations as well. Okay. Energy boosting nutritions. Okay. Complex carbohydrates. As I say, whole grains, oatmeals, brown rice, quinoa, release energy and slowly, keeping you fuller for longer. That's why earlier we mentioned that at the start of the working day, once we are having this meal in the suhoor meal, we still at the highest level of our energy. We can do any high rest tasks, any tasks that require any physical movements. Also, protein-rich foods, eggs, lean meats, fish, lentils, and Greek yogurt help to maintain your muscle tension and sustaining the energy. Also, healthy fats, nuts, seeds, avocados, olive oil provides long-lasting energy and essential nutrients. And natural sugars. During the iftar, the best thing that we are always start with dates and water. Why dates and water? Because the dates, the nutrition facts about the dates, whenever anyone coming to sunset and then breaking their fast and we feel low energy is completely at almost zero level, And then when we ate the dates are fast and boosting the energy to get high back again. That's why a lot of Muslim, they break in their fast with the dates. And banana, honey, and offer a quick energy boost without causing a sugar crashes. Okay. Best food for suhoor to be having. As I mentioned, we need to focus on what? Very important things, increasing the fibers. That includes a lot of water intake inside it, as you said, cucumber, lettuce, watermelons. And we increasing also, or we're having half of it to be also including a high carbohydrates, which is complex carbohydrates that can keep us fuller for longer times, which is we can find it in the oatmeals. And fruits, nuts, whole grain toast, peanut butter, scrambled egg with vegetables. That's what I was telling you. It's my normal sahur meal. Greek yogurt also, honey, and shea seeds. When breaking the fast, what is the best meals? We start with dates and water for instant energy boosting and increase. It's include a balanced meal with lean protein, healthy carbs, and vegetables. Okay. The best soups is to be vegetable soups. Lentil or vegetable help in rehydrations. Okay. All right. Now, high-risk environments, such as what? Construction site, factories, requires what? Now, what we have already discussed for normal work procedures, but when it comes to robust industries, we have to think about it. So, construction site, factories, chemical plants, warehouses requires a robust risk management to prevent the severe accidents during the holy month of Ramadan. Fasting-related factors like fatigue, dehydration can amplify existing hazards, necessitating the tailored preventative measures. What do we need to do? Some organizations, you do something very good. They conduct a specific risk assessment. Conducting a specific risk assessment, focusing on fasting-related challenges to identify the tasks and if affected by reducing physical or mental capacity. So what they do, they would think about rotation of the employees. So what is a risk assessment for the people who doesn't know what is risk assessment? It's a careful examination helping us to identify possible hazards. We are having a types of this risk assessment. We're having generic risk assessment, task-related risk assessment. We can do sometimes in some activities, last-minute risk assessment, fire safety risk assessment, cost risk assessment for chemicals. Sometimes we may do a risk assessment for the holy month of Ramadan to understand that, because when we do the steps of risk assessment, we say on the second step who might be on harm, right? And how they will be affected. So we be focusing who might be in harm on a fasting employees. And then we think about the control measures that can be helping and minimizing the chances of any accidents that could happen due to the challenges that they may face during these timings. Critical tasks, pinpoint activities required high concentration. For example, operating heavy machineries, lifting operations, excavations for the workers, also manual handling activities. All right, driving, okay. There has to be physical endurance where fasting may increase risks. Now, as we say, what we need to do, we need to alter our rotation between workers, or preferably these activities to be carried out at the start of the day. Why is that? As I said, the meals that keeps us fuller at the start of the day can help us that we stay in our highest level of our energy before the energy goes down. Our energy started to goes down when? After 12 o'clock. That's why in the normal days, not in the days of Ramadan, wake up in the morning, should we feel tired, dizziness, feel sleepy and things like that, but we can manage and then the time when people having their meal starting to feel tired. No, as I say, will be something associated with our circadian rhythms. Our body has been adjusted the same way to be moving with the universe. Now, the universe, morning time, sunrise come in, and we feel that high temperature. We see the sunlights and things like that. And it's the highest energy during the afternoon, and the sunset started to start. And then until 5, 6 o'clock, that's the time where many people will be. So our body and circadian rhythms is adapted with the universe. That's why we say by 12 o'clock, people energy started to go down. So in order to take advantage of this, and in order to ensure that our productivity that will not be affected, we have to make sure that activities requires physical endurance to be done at the start of the day, and we make sure that will be rotation between the employees together. Okay. Now, preventative measures, enhancing supervision. I already told you that supervisions needs to be enhanced. We need to increase the level of supervision. Increasing strictly safety protocols. Enforce mandatory if using a personal protective equipment, the PPE. Because we already understand, people already in the safety field understands that many of the workers, they sometimes have no commitments toward health and safety. When they see only safety practitioner at the side, they may put their full set of their PPE. We have to make sure, increasing the supervision to make sure everybody put in their PPE in. Training refresh, offer briefings or refresher courses on safety protocols and tailored during Ramadan conditions. Task adjustment. If applicable, that we can use electronics systems to be doing the jobs with, it would be better than physical activities of humans. And emergency preparedness. Emergency preparedness meaning what? Accessible emergency response plans in place and communicated to all staff. Every workplace, although that they're managing the risks, they need to also have emergency preparedness procedures. An emergency preparedness procedure, no matter the workplace is a low risk, medium, or a high risk, is a first aid emergencies. Like every workplace, they have adequate first aid provisions and fire safety. No, and we will talk about fasting, and we talk about tiredness, fatigues, and things like that. The workplace must possess a first aiders and first aid equipment. Okay. Promoting well-being and team collaboration for mental health and stress management. Beyond physical activity, mental and emotional well-being are crucial during Ramadan. As I told you, if you know someone who's diabetic, if you know someone in your life who's diabetic, sometimes you may notice that changes in their behaviors. Changes in their behavior, they become very defensive. They become very angry immediately. They may not be patient. They may feel crying, things like that. No, as I say, when we are hypoglycemic, we may have that same feelings of being angry or become defensive. No, that's why you see a lot of people at the first days, because as I told you, you're trying to alter the diet, the nutritions, and the diets immediately one time when the Ramadan starts. Now, what will happen? Stress from fasting. Balancing religious obligation with work can be taxing, especially under tight deadlines. Fasting employees may feel disconnected if colleagues don't understand their needs. For instance, I know that I'm fasting, my colleagues are having their meals in front of me, and they don't respect my feelings. This is may increasing a stress, increasing also a conflict, you know? Fatigue fallout. Physical tiredness can worsen mental strain and leading to irritability or burnout. No? What else do we have here? Okay. Strategies to promote this, to promote well-being. Open dialogue. Discussions about Ramadan impact, reducing stigma and fostering understanding. A lot of workplaces before the holy month start, they may gather employees and just give them a small session and the tips for Ramadan before Ramadan starts, so that making everybody to understand. Next thing, stress resources. Provide access, counseling, relaxation technique, or quiet space for reflections. Giving more breaks for employees, helping them to rearrange and re-maintain their mood would be something good. Supportive culture, building an environment where employees may feel valued, supported, regardless of fasting status. Also, team collaborations needs to be there, encouraging the team to redistribute tasks, easing pressure on fasting members. So as helping each other. So non-fasting, we can help fasting employees, and we may take over their tasks from them, and we may alter the group members and things like that. Inclusivity education, inform non-fasting staff about Ramadan to promote empathy and teamwork. Regular checks in, hold them meetings to address challenges and plan collaboratively. All right, leadership playing a vital role as well. Flexibility, offer adjustable hours or remote work options to accommodate fasting schedules. If we don't have a lot of tasks to be carried out or any works that can be done from home or workers can do it remotely, this is very good options that can help the employees a lot. Also, alter and changing working hours. Now, a lot of governmental sectors and private sectors, they already understand because of Ramadan, they automatically they do such a thing like that. Role modeling, leaders should demonstrate understanding and encouraging a supportive tone for everyone, recognizing that and be empathic and understands that people makes mistakes, that they are not in their normal mood because of Ramadan and their fasting challenges. Acknowledge employees' efforts to balance work and fasting, boosting morale. Now, we have reached to the end, time flying, but we are having some questionnaires, some questions there. I will put some questions there on the screen, and you guys can put the answer on the chat box. And let's see who's the faster one to respond to the questions. Now, question number 1. What is the primary goal of HSE practices during the holy month of Ramadan? Now, we got 4 answers. Is it increasing productivity and meeting deadlines, ensuring employee safety and well-being, reducing operational cost by simplifying procedures, or encourage competition among employees? Which one will you select? All right, we've got Joseph here. Okay. Okay, we got Damila first. Joseph, Muhammad, yes. Okay, Damila and Joseph, they're the first one. Very good. Answer B is the right one. Very good. Excellent, guys. Now, the next one, next question is there. How does fasting commonly affect employee performance during the Ramadan? We got 4 options also there. Is it improve physical strength and endurance, reducing physical and mental stamina, enhance focusing and decision making? Which one? Okay, let's say also B here. Oh, wow. Oh, some people selected A. Okay, Joseph. Okay, Ahmad. All right, let's see what's the right answer. The right answer also B. It reduces physical and mental stamina, no? All right. Now, no problem. Third question. What is the most effective strategy for managing fatigue during Ramadan? We are having 4 options again here. Implementing adjusted work schedules and breaks. Scheduling mandatory overtime for all employees. Increasing workloads, keep employees, reducing rest periods. All right, let's see. Okay, some people here still. Okay, A. Oh, see, a lot of people are smart here. Everybody's smart. Very good. Answer A is the right one. Answer A is the right one. Implementing adjusted work schedules and breaks. All right, next question. What is recommended practicing for staying hydrated during the holy month of Ramadan? Relying on caffeinated beverages, avoiding liquids, consuming sugary drinks, drinking plenty of water between the sunset. Yes. Okay, very good, very good, very good. Answer D is the right one. All right. Why it's proper nutrition critical during Ramadan for workplace safety? It allows employees to work faster and harder, helps employees to avoiding taking breaks, it reduces needs for safety equipment, it maintains energy level and cognitive function. Okay, wow, wow, wow. Very fast. Good. Yes, it maintains energy levels and cognitive function. Next question. What is the key preventative measures in a high-risk environment during Ramadan? Decreasing supervision to trust employees more, ignoring faster relating risks to workflow, increasing monitoring for signs of fatigue, reducing safety check to save time. Okay. Answer here, yes, you're right, guys. Answer here is C. Very good. Increasing monitoring for signs of fatigue. All right. How can leadership, I think that's the last question. How can be leadership best support for fasting employees? By providing for flexible work options and support, increasing their workload, by limiting communicating about fast challenging, by reducing access. Somebody selected. All right, answer A. Yes, guys, that's very good. Excellent. Excellent. Oh, there's still another question. All right, another question. I think this is the last one. How can team collaboration benefit fasting employees during Ramadan? By isolating them to focus on their tasks, by redistributing tasks to lighten works, by increasing individual responsibility. Okay, yes, by redistributing tasks. A lot of people select B. Very good, by redistributing tasks to lighten their work. Now, thank you so much, guys. This was the last question and your answer, all of your answer is right, B. We have reached to the end. It's 12:52 now. We got almost 1 hour. And I've seen a lot of people staying there and they didn't leave. I really appreciate and thank you so much for your time and participations in today's sessions on HSE Ramadan. I hope you gained a valuable insight on staying safe and healthy and productive during the holy month or the remaining of the holy month. We know that it's almost reaching the end. Today is 22, 6 to 8 days will be there. Stay safe, stay hydrated, prioritize your well-being. Yes. And for any questions or further discussions, please feel free to reach out. Wishing you a blessed and safe Ramadan. Now, I have a question for the first aid. Now, yeah, there's someone about the first aid guidelines. Now, first aid during the holy month of Ramadan is exactly the same when it's a non-Ramadan, meaning, for example, let's say on any first aid trainings, if you're attending and you see a lot of people, for example, the first thing we focus on the first aid is to, when somebody stops breathing, for example, that's the most important concern that we do about it. So we do CPR. That won't be changed exactly during Ramadan or non-Ramadan. If somebody is bleeding, the same treatment is going to be there, but we have to, bleeding can lead to something called hypovolemic shock. Hypovolemic shock is a condition which leads to nausea and anxiety, leads to dizziness, leads to also pale and bluish tissue color, cool and moist clamp skin. These are the shock signs and symptoms that will be followed by bleeding. Put these signs and symptoms between fasting challenges. Then what happens? Meaning a time has to be more faster when dealing such as thing like that. If we talk about, for example, heat exhaustion or heat stress emergencies, yeah. Now we are in March. Prohibited working hours loads are not applied. It's applied, it will be applied by June. When we say dehydration, now the weather in these days are changing. In the morning time, it might be feels a little bit hot. What we prefer to be dealing workers, they do with outdoor activity as we are in June to September. Shaded areas, fans to be there, and a rotation between work like this, reducing the working hours. Yeah, but of course, water intake, they won't be taking water intake because they're already fasting. That's regarding heat exhaustion. Dealing with burn, we can do this. Now, let's talk about people who are having lifelong illnesses, people who are suffering from chronic diseases, like such as people who are suffering from diabetes, for example, diabetes. People who are suffering from diabetes, their fasting routine, a first status cannot be discussed because they already know that sometimes, diabetes, meaning hypoglycemia for them problem, low blood sugar content too low. Hyperglycemia, blood sugar content too high, is also a problem. If a person is unable to continue fasting, which they are diabetic, I'm talking from a different aspect. I'm not talking about any religion aspect. Religious aspect, will be specialized, we'll be talk about it. But I'm talking about scientifically based, like whenever doctors won't be forcing anyone for fasting because this may change a lot of things and they may be affecting them adversely because they take medicines and they have to break it down. So, because in worst levels, when people suffering from diabetes, it can lead to dizziness and they can drop unconscious and effects can be deteriorated more. So whatever they wants to do or whatever the doctor say, they have to follow. That's for a diabetic personnel. A person who takes asthma or who are suffering from asthma, they have asthma and they are take reliever inhaler, for example. That's their own medicines. Now, people are suffering from any lifelong illnesses at the course of their normal work for the holy month of Ramadan, they have to be, there will be preferably to be taken any lighter activities. Any lighter activities. Okay. Can a pregnant woman fast? It depends also. It depends upon the doctors she following with. It depends also her resilience. If she can resist and if she can do this, yes, some females are pregnant because this is something may alter between people. Some women, some females are prefer to be fasting, some, but recommended not because of the hormones change inside the body when a baby is grown up, and it's understands also because that may increase for the females who are fasting the holy month of Ramadan to feel more dizziness fast and plenty of times. And dizziness meaning feel fainted, collapse, accidents, things like that. As per a lot of doctors I was following with for my wife, they all recommend not to be fast during the holy month of Ramadan. Also, the woman who's nursing, she had to be careful much to making sure their meals during the sahur time to be fully increased with proteins, fiber, carbohydrates, less carbohydrates, more fibers and protein. Any other questions, please? Any other questions, please? All right, so regarding first aid, as I mentioned, it's always the same. Ramadan, non-Ramadan, with some slight changes I have already mentioned. If anyone have any questions or any queries, yeah, Laban meaning Halib, no? You mean Halib, yes. Can someone take iftar with water only? In fact, if your body adapted, for example, first days of Ramadan, will be difficult. During the holy month, as I said, circadian rhythm will be adapted a little bit to the new plans, no? So in the first days, it will be more challenging. And in the mid days of Ramadan, a person can sustain somehow, take water, but still the energy down. If you take water only, meaning you're not required to do some tasks, because if you still do any task, for example, you go to the gym, you hit the gym and you break your fast with water and you continue practicing. May leads to vomiting, dizziness, and fatigue, which is not. If you take water and the person stay doing a light activities until they take their meals, that will be okay. If one faints during fasting period, after first aid, they can break fast for a few days. This depends upon a doctor, because this is maybe severe hypoglycemia. Severe hypoglycemia, blood sugar content so low, that's why they collapse. The moment they fill their body with foods, and they take their food intakes and they get better, no, they can still fasting, but this is also depends upon their condition. They need to be diagnostic by medic professionals, because they may be suffering from any other health issues. They need to be diagnostic. It cannot be done by a first aider, cannot give advice for that. Appreciate Baruz. Thank you, Muhammad Baruz. Thank you guys for all questions. In case I use self-contained breathing apparatus during my fasting, does it break my fast? No, of course not, because that's air. That is air only. You're breathing. Now, what's inside the self-contained breathing apparatus cylinder? It's a normal air. It's not only oxygen or any particular gas. It's only air, same like the air we're breathing. So you're breathing from normal air, you're breathing from the cylinder. Doesn't matter, no problem. All right. Okay. Now, as I can see, there's a lot of all right. For your question, Ahmad Anwar, this has to be for the specialists. Specialists, like any religious mans, they can answer the questions. Scientifically based, we cannot answer questions like that. So you're asking a question from a different perspective. All right, everyone. I know that you have a lot of questions, but unfortunately, we have crossed an hour now. So if you have any queries, any more questions, please ensure we are inviting you to come to DISS and be always coming to DISS. If you have any queries, we can, whenever you see you again in any further training, we can respond to all of questions, but due to the limited timings we have, we can't answer all the questions. Thank you for your time. Thank you for your active listening, your dedication, and everything. And I was enjoying the session with all of you guys, and hopefully to meet you again in future in any further trainings or any questions or any consultation. We'll be happy to help. Thank you, and make sure you have a blessing remaining of the holy month, and stay with your families. Get your breaking fast with your families, having a good time. Till that, thank you, and bye-bye.
All right.
All
Thank you,
right, thank you
everyone,
so
for
much.
joining us today.
Mm, You're most welcome, and thank you so much for this wonderful session.
You're welcome. So, by the
Yeah,
way, just a few
greetings to
final.
guests. Sorry.
Okay. Yeah, just wanted to make some final reminders. So, again, the recording and slides will be emailed
Mm,
to you guys along with your e-certificate.
All right.
So, and yeah, wishing everyone a safe and blessed end to Ramadan. Thank you once more for joining us.
All right, most welcome. Thank you so much as well.
You're welcome. Have a good
All right.
one.